Hey guys, Toilets Rock here, and today I'll be doing performance test on my Comfort Height Kohler highline toilets. Let's give this toilet a flush before we start doing performance tests. It's got a good flush. I always like these toilets. It's the same thing as a Kohler Ingenium, but the only reason why it's a highline is because it's Comfort Height. And I can tell this is Comfort Height because it's slightly taller and the trapway is actually really straight and it's a bit longer. So yeah, so first test, we'll try this it's some sort of packaging. Now this, it's definitely harder for a toilet to take this than a washcloth. I used to have a washcloth, but here it goes, this packaging or whatever this thing is. Well, we do know at least that this is not a very easy test like a washcloth, but it's just as hard as taking a rag, but we'll try it again. Now the reason why it struggled on that is because this toilet has some minerals in the trapway, and also this is what was in the trapway. It's some minerals, so I think there's still some in there, but let's try this again, see if it'll take it more easy. Now that's more like it. So now let's try this grocery bag. I apologize that this toilet is a bit dirty. I got this toilet when someone brought their old toilet to trade in for one of my toilets, so that is why it's dirty. So that was not me who did that. So let's see how it does on this bag. It did well. It tried to siphon out for like a second. The water line, as it was finishing flushing, it just tried to stay low. But yeah, now we'll try this grocery bag and the packaging, whatever this thing is. I think it's actually some sort of packaging. It came out of the box. So when I unbox my Home Depot Value NCC or something like that, or my Glacier Bay Power Flush. Yes, it was actually from the Glacier Bay Power Flush that this thing came from. All right, let's see how it does. Since it struggled on this on the first try, there's absolutely no way it's gonna take this unless there's a miracle that something happens. It didn't come out. I think it's stuck at the bottom. Let's flush it again. We'll try it again. And I did not do my normal flushes on this on a regular video like this that's not under 3 minutes long, because it's not the most special video, so I just decided to skip that and just do performance tests on this. So let's try this again, see if it can try to take it this time. It did well. The reason why I took it is because it did take the bag mostly first. So it kind of took them separately, even if it took as well the packaging, whatever it is, with the bag. It took it more in the end with the bag. So I'll just try it one last time and see if I'll give it an overall pass for this test. Not the easiest thing to do to set up my test with one hand inside the toilet. Let's try this again. All right, I'm gonna give that a pass because it seems like it's just good at taking stuff separately, so thumbs up. Now let's try this. I have a really bad feeling about this because if it gets past the opening, it'll get stuck right there. I guarantee you. I cannot guarantee it will clog, unfortunately, because we cannot predict anything that happens in the future, but I almost guarantee you it will clog on this. Let's see how it does on this. At least it tried. That's what matters. And actually, I think it's slight. No, it's not sliding through, but let's empty all the water in the tank. All right, so what I'm going to do is, once it reaches at the water line, I'll pull this out and then flush it and see if it'll take it angled. And then I'll try it flat again and see if it'll go at least past the opening of the trap. All right, it's at the water line. Let's do this. I mean, that's a very big test to do on a toilet. I just want to see if I can at least make it go past the opening. I think that would be really cool. Just want to squeeze the water out because when there's water on like the plastic bag or on the towel, it makes it heavier and it makes it a lot harder to take for the toilet to take. So, all right, let's see how it does on this second attempt of the towel being flat. It did slightly better. Oh. I just saw it sliding. I just saw that. It's not sliding anymore, it's just draining. So we'll give it a second flush, see if it'll go through. Nope. And I'm not gonna like just try to hand plunge it and see if it'll go through because it'll take forever to unclog. So just do this. It didn't take much plunging actually. So the last test before I do a dirt test, I'd like to do this wristband. It's actually not the easiest thing for toilets to take actually, because usually the wristband, it doesn't all the time sink under the water. So the toilet will take the wristband at the last second. So let's see how it does on this. I don't think it should clog on this. It's partially clogged. So let's just do this. All it took was one hand plunge. So let's try this again. I'll let it sink more under the water. Here goes a second attempt. it clogged again. And it's partially clogged, which is kind of strange. So overall, performance is decent. And that is because this toilet has some minerals, and also trap void gets actually very narrow when you see it going down like that. So that is the reason why the performance is decent but not the best. So once it reaches at the water line, we will do a bore rinse test on this toilet. Sorry about that, I'm a little sick. And today I will be getting a vintage toilet from 2000s. I think it's a toilet that was made in the 2000s, very late for a vintage looking toilet. So that's pretty cool. I just turned 18 today. And then I'll put some around the rim. It'll be good. All right, let's see how it does on this. Bowl clearance is terrible. Let's see how it did all around the rim. And this over here, you can just see I just try to wash my hands so some of the dirt went up in there. But see if I can do this with one hand. I don't want my phone to be wet. There's a little bit of dirt right there. Actually, that's not dirt, that's something else. Oh wow. This, when I try to put some dirt around this part of the rim, the water was leaking, so the flapper is not working very well. And it's actually still leaking. Overall, the bore rinse is okay, between okay and decent. So I think it has something to do with the rim jets clogged, because I see these toilets overall have amazing flushes, and I've seen other, I'm not the only person who has done tests on a Kohler highline, which is basically the same thing as a Kohler Ingenium. So there's no reason that a toilet that is the same brand and model would fail a bore rinse test very bad when another toilet that's the same thing as this does very well. So it must be a mix of these combinations where some of the rim jets are clogged and also there's some calcium buildup. So yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoy my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.